everyone. I will start by going over the agenda for the topics we will cover today. As Troy has mentioned, DrayTek has just released the new 4G routers, the Vigor 2860L and 2920L 4G LTE series routers. We will start with an overview of the DrayTek 4G LTE product range, and then we will go over the major new features for these routers. We will also go over a few development examples to show how versatile these new routers can be. I will present a video available from the DrayTek that gives a brief introduction of these new routers and LTE technology. Finally, I will introduce and go through the LTE related features and configure options available in these 4G LTE routers. So let's start the product overview by introducing the benefits of integrated LTE devices and product available with embedded LTE function. A question you may ask is, why do we need to use an LTE integrated modem while we can have external 4G LTE dongle? One reason is that some 4G USB modem may not be compatible with the router. Many new 4G USB modems are released each year, and DrayTek R&D usually has to add the drivers in the router firmware to support the new 4G modem. Modems that have been tested and are compatible are shown in the compatibility list in our support webpage. If the 4G USB dongle is not listed in our compatibility list, there is a likelihood that the router will not be able to communicate with the external 4G USB modem and be unable to initiate an internet connection. Another reason is the antenna built into the external 3G 4G USB dongle is not suitable for your usage inside cabinet or server room. If the DrayTek router is located on the rack inside server room or metal cabinet, the 3G 4G signal reception will be very weak and cause unstable connection. There is also a list that the USB dongle may become faulty or causes 4G connection to be dropped. To overcome this issue, DrayTek have launched the new 4G LTE routers with an integrated 4G LTE modem. DrayTek have released the Vigor 2860 ADSL VDSL 4G LTE series, as well as the Vigor 2925L broadband 4G LTE router series. We will first look at the 2860L series. The Vigor 2860 router has most functions of the 2860 series routers, plus a slot for a 4G LTE mobile broadband SIM card. In addition to the 4G LTE mobile broadband, the Vigor 2860L has other WAN interfaces including one VDSL to ADSL2, 1 gigabit Ethernet WAN, 6 gigabit Ethernet LAN, and one USB port. The Vigor 2860L can connect to the internet through any of these interfaces, or with a combination of interfaces for load balance or failover function. With the latest Wi-Fi function, you can configure WAN 2 to use the router Wi-Fi to tether to an external Wi-Fi hotspot. Like the 2860 series, this router supports business features including objects-oriented SPI firewall, IPv6, 32 VPN tunnels, 16 SSL VPN tunnels, tag-based VLAN, and multiple subnets, etc. The picture shown here is for the 2860L router. You will notice it has two sets of antennas. The outer white antennas are for the router Wi-Fi LAN. The two middle black antennas are the 4G antennas that come with a magnetic base and a 1 meter cable, so you can position the antenna in the best location to give you the best 4G signal quality. The other new release is the Vigor 2925L series 4G LTE routers. The Vigor 2925LN router has most functions of the Vigor 2925 series routers, plus a slot for a 4G LTE mobile broadband SIM card. In addition to the 4G LTE mobile broadband, the Vigor 2925LN has other WAN interfaces including 2 gigabit Ethernet WAN interface, one USB port for 3G 4G mobile dongle. With the latest Wi-Fi WAN feature, you can configure WAN 2 to use router Wi-Fi to tether to an external Wi-Fi hotspot also, like what we have in 2860L. The picture shown here is for the 2925LN. You will notice it has also two sets of antenna. The outer white antenna is for the Wi-Fi, and the two middle black antenna for 4G antennas. So it also comes with the magnetic base and 1 meter cable. So you can position the antenna in the best location and give you the best 4G signal quality as well. The figure 2925 LN can connect to the internet through any of these interfaces or with any combination of interfaces for load balance or failover function. Like the 2925 series, this router supports business features including SPI firewall, IPv6 with 50 VPN tunnels, 25 SSL VPN tunnels, tag-based VLAN, and multiple subnets, and etc. A new feature for the Vega 2925 is the high availability mode. For mission-critical application, the Vega 2925L can be used in high availability mode to provide uninterrupted network connectivity should a hardware failure occur in the primary router. We will now look into more detail at the features that are available in the 4G LTE routers. First, let us look into the LTE function. The embedded LTE in the Vega 2860L and 2925L series support FDD, which is frequency division duplex, LTE category 4. The FDD technique in the LTE utilizes two different center frequencies for downstream and upstream traffic in order to optimize the transmission speed with the support up to category 4. The maximum throughput is 150 Mbps for downstream and 50 megabit per second for upstream under 20 MHz bandwidth. The supported LTE band for the integrated 4G LTE modem is band 3, 7, 8, 20, with the corresponding frequency as shown on this table. Please note that the band 28, which is the LTE 4G band, is not supported in this router. The SIM card slot for the integrated 4G LTE modem is located on the rear of the router as shown in this diagram. The 4G LTE SIM card slot also allows you to insert a full-size SIM card from your service provider and have internet access without the need to use additional hardware, and it is protected by the cover. The supported SIM card include those from the major broadband service providers in Australia like Telstra, Optus, Vodafone, etc. And also in New Zealand like Spark, 2degrees, and Vodafone. The Vega 4G LTE routers can be rack mounted using one RU rack mount bracket on a standard 90-inch rack or cabinet. It also has two LTE antennas and 1 meter extension lead with a magnetic base, and allows you and the antennas to be placed in the best position for the optimum 3G 4G reception. This is also one of the main advantage compared to the external 4G USB dongle, which is receiving signals limited due to no antenna extension being available. One new feature that is now available is the SMS feature. The SMS feature allows status and alerts to be sent by the router to the pre-configured mobile phone number. Or an IT administrator can reboot the router remotely by sending the reboot command to the router via SMS. To reboot the router, you just need to send a message starting with the text remote reboot to the router's phone number, followed by the password or PIN that is if it is enabled. To prevent unauthorized person from rebooting the router, you can enable an access list where the reboot command is only accepted for the pre-configured phone number. Vega 2860L router supports 4 types of WAN interfaces, including ADSL2, VDSL2 WAN interface, a gigabit Ethernet WAN interface, a USB port supported for 3G 4G USB modem, and a card slot for 4G LTE modem. The Vega 2860LN wireless router also has the wireless WAN feature. The Wi-Fi WAN feature can be used as a backup when the primary WAN connections are down and when you do not have access to 3G 4G LTE modem. For example, a smartphone can be used as a hotspot for the Wi-Fi WAN feature in this case. 3G 4G mobile broadband access can be achieved through the integrated 4G LTE modem once you install a SIM card or through an attached 3G 4G USB dongle plugged into the router USB port. With between 2 to 4 WAN interfaces connected, you can configure for load balancing or failover. For example, you can have ADSL2, VDSL2 as your primary internet connection, and have a failover connection over a 4G LTE connection. Similar to 2860L series routers, the 2925L series routers also support multi-WAN interfaces. However, the WAN one is not the DSL interface, but the gigabit Ethernet. With between 2 to 4 interfaces connected, you can also configure for load balance and failover, similar to what we have in 2860L. The 2925LN also has the wireless WAN. The Wi-Fi WAN feature can be used as backup for the primary WAN, whether if the primary WAN connections are down or you don't have any access to 3G or 4G USB modem. So you can also use smartphone as a hotspot for the Wi-Fi WAN feature. Here we have a comparison of the LAN and VLAN features of the 2860L and 2925L. The 2860L has 6 gigabit LAN ports, while in 2925L we have only 5 gigabit LAN ports. With 50,000 NAT session, both routers also support port-based 802.1Q-Tech VLANs. Port-based VLAN also assignment allow the assignment of a VLAN and IP subnet to each router LAN port. And in the other hand, 802.1Tech VLAN also can extend up to 8 VLANs and IP subnet to an attached switch. Here we have a comparison of the VPN capabilities of these routers. Vigor 2860L support up to 32 simultaneous VPN tunnels such as IPsec, PPTP, L2TP, 16 tunnels of SSL VPN protocol. Viva 2925 supports up to 50 simultaneous VPN tunnels and 16 SSL VPN tunnels. The dedicated VPN coprocessor support the hardware encryption of AES, DES 3DES, hardware key hash of SHA-1, MD5, and LDAP authentication, and ensures that VPN traffic is secure and performance is maximized. The SSL technology allows secure web encryption such as those used for the online banking, and you can also create a SSL VPN in full tunnel mode or proxy mode. Furthermore, since both routers support multi-WAN combination, you can create VPN trunking for VPN load balance and VPN backup. For instance, you can use a number of connections to a site to increase the bandwidth, or have a backup connection where the primary connections fail. High availability mode is supported only in 2925L series routers. It provides hardware redundancy in the network by the use of one or more Figure 2925L routers in a group that can be configured for hot standby or active standby. High availability is essential in mission-critical applications where the network as well as internet connection need to be available 100% of the time. So the hardware failure occurring in the primary router, the standby router will immediately come online to provide uninterrupted network connectivity. The key features including the WCF license share, configuration sync, and the DNS update. High availability feature will be introduced separately in the different webinar. Most DrayTek routers support smart monitor to let the system administrator analyze the traffic in the network. The Figure 2860L support up to 30 PC, and 2925 router support up to 50 PC. Additional features supported in each of these 4G LTE routers are 802.11n Wi-Fi for the N model, robust firewall including object-based and SPI, which is a stateful packet inspection firewall, quality of service, central VPN management, central IP management for DrayTek access points, and management through Web UI, SNMP, Telnet, and also by Vigor ACSSI via TR69 protocol. We will now describe some deployment example covering some ideal application that can benefit from those LTE features. One example is providing internet access for outdoor events where no DSL or broadband line access is available. So events can rely on having internet access are now not restricted anymore by using the 4G LTE routers. Another example is providing portable internet access for the holiday cottage. It can also be used for quick setup of sites waiting for DSL or broadband connection to become available. Another application is using in the caravans or mobile offices that without a fixed connection line. The 4G LTE routers can also be used to provide internet access on public transport, such as tourist buses or coaches. The routers requires a 12-volt DC power, which can be provided by the use of suitable power adapter in the vehicle. Another application is to provide internet access on public transport, such as a ferry or cruise ship. Before looking at the router web configuration pages, let's watch a brief introductory video from DrayTek on the 4G LTE routers. This video is also available on the YouTube link as shown on this page. Thanks for watching the introduction video, and I hope you have enjoyed and found it informative. Let's move to the next section where we will look at the web pages for the configuration options covering the LTE features. On the WAN general setup page, you will find that the WAN tree is in the embedded LTE modem. The LTE configuration menu under the WAN general setup is similar to other WAN interfaces. You can specify line speed and define the mode as always on failover or load balance. Setting limit to the line speed is also important under load balance so the router can fairly distribute the traffic among different WAN connections. To configure the LTE connection, go to WAN Internet Access and choose LTE WAN with access mode selected to DHCP, then click on Details page. Only DHCP mode is available for the LTE connection, as 4G LTE mainly operates under DHCP mode. In this page, user only needs to configure the APN name according to the different ISP and keep other parameters in default unless required. Then press OK once finished. Apart from the WAN LTE connection, there are configuration pages for LTE functions. These settings are available under LTE menu in the router. In the general settings, we can specify the quota for SMS messages to prevent the credit consumed easily. The administrator can configure the quota of SMS sent by device within a specific period of time, like monthly, or manually define the time duration. On the same page, we can also define the action to be taken once reaching the limit. This page shows the time period set manually. In order to have this configuration work accurately, you need to ensure that the device time and date are updated and real-time synchronized, and also the mail configuration is properly configured. In this page shows the SMS directory in simple mode, where the messages are displayed in the order of receive time. The advanced mode shows messages based on the index number in the SIM card. We can also compose and send SMS message from device web UI to a specific mobile number. The message encoding currently supports only English language. This page shows the SMS cache stored in the Vigo router, but it will be clear when the router is rebooted. In this page, the network administrator can configure the behavior to reboot the router or obtain device status via SMS. Only numbers configured in the access control list can communicate with the device in this purpose, and also can be configured with password or PIN protection. For the status reply, we can specify the information in the message. The more options selected, the longer content in the reported message. LTE status. In this page, display details of the LTE connection like status, band operator, CID, which is the call ID, cell ID, signal level, channel, and TXRX rate. It also displays the SIM card information and the modem information like IMEI, IMSI, MNC, MCC, and LAC, local area code. This information is necessary during the troubleshooting. And in addition, it also shows SMS status, including the new SMS.
www.draytek.com.au, or for more information,